Hey everybody, welcome back to another Volition stream. I'm Josh Stinson, the video editor here, and this is literally the first stream since we started Stream 2.0 or whatever, that this couch is at max capacity. We've been keeping it kind of small so far, so this is a good test. But we're doing something a little different here today. We got Interns of Volition. Hey! And I thought it would be kind of cool to have the interns on, talk about their experiences and all the stuff they do. So yeah, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
All right, my name is Kenzie Lindgren. I am the user experience design and game design intern here, and I work in the open world content.
And I'm Kat King. I'm a UI artist here, and I make UI art.
I'm Jason. I just do programming. It's pretty easy.
Wow.
My description's easy.
I'm Matt Allers. I am a combat systems design intern here.
All right.
Not easy.
And what university are all of you from?
Bradley
University.
All right, cool. And one other thing, because there's a little bit more of a Volition connection here too. One of your instructors is David Abzug, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He was previously worked here at the studio a few years ago. In fact, we had him on a couple different streams, I think, back then too. So I'm sure there's a pretty decent chance he's watching too. So hi, hello, it's been a while.
He is. I emailed him earlier today.
Okay.
Pushed him on.
But before we go further into this stuff, let's cut away to Mike in the control corner.
Oh, my mic's muted. 1 sec.
Oh.
Hey everybody, Mike Watson here, Senior Community Developer for Volition. I'll be moderating the stream and running the production in the background. Also today we are starting a random giveaway. Every week we'll be picking a random piece of swag. I like to call it my Declutter My Office initiative, so I can actually get to my desk. And we have a survey link that I'll be posting in chat. It's also right below our weekly stream time on the left panel. And we'll be showing the prize at the end of the stream. So stick around.
All right, cool. Thanks, Mike. Okay, so how long have all of you been here? I remember hearing that oh man, we're getting interns, and then it's been so busy here. I honestly forget how long ago that was. It feels like forever ago, but
Sure. Are we going to take turns answering?
We all came the same day.
We've been
like
here.
2 months,
Yeah,
right?
we've been here about 2 months, 2.5 months.
Okay.
We got here in May, the end of May, 28th
Yes.
or something.
It was the day after Memorial Day.
Yeah.
So whenever that
So we've
was.
been here for a bit.
all right. So in the 2 or so months you've been here so far, how you been liking it? What's it like being an intern for a game studio?
Ooh, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
No,
crazy.
it's been great. It's been really a really unique opportunity and something that college didn't really prepare you for, but not in a bad way. It's just you got here and it's there's so much more, and there's just so many different ways that things are done here.
Yeah, it's because it's I've never done an internship, and I really wish I had, because it feels like that's if you skip over that, it's just when you start doing a real a job or something, yeah, quote unquote. It's just oh god, I was not prepared for this, even though I went to college. So yeah, it's I guess briefly, can each of you kind of vaguely, because we have said in the past we're working on a project. Don't want to say too much or anything, but can you vaguely describe the types of things that you do here, day to day?
Sure.
Let's start over here then. Start over there last time. As I said at the beginning, I am a combat systems design intern, and that is I do exactly what that sounds like, and I can't go into specifics past that.
All right.
I work on combat, and I work on things involved with combat.
Cool.
I'm programming intern, so I've been focusing mainly on audio and I guess another group that I don't know if I'm allowed to mention, so I won't. Audio's in most games, so that's something I can say.
Better be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
There you go. And I'm working on the UI team, so mostly I've been doing UI art. I haven't been doing any of the tech side of it because that's really hard. But yeah.
All right, cool.
I feel like I've gotten to do a little bit of everything, whether that's just working in an Excel sheet or working with the tools or being involved in discussions and going to meetings. Yeah, I can't say much beyond that because a lot of my work is ultra specific. So,
Right.
But I mean, I'm designing.
All right, cool.
Oh, let's go with that.
Designing.
We're deciding.
That's a
Who would have thought?
So, before like starting the internship here, like I'm sure all of you have been working with like various game dev tools and stuff, but I'm sure it's been stuff like Unity and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
What's it been like coming here and like getting to see like the custom tools that we have? Like,
So
like
So funny story. I've only been doing design for about a year.
Okay.
Since I transferred into Bradley like this past fall. So outside of the first semester, I actually haven't touched too many game engines. So coming in and learning the new tools was a challenge because I've never worked with any other tools.
Yeah.
But I think it actually made my life a little bit easier compared to like Matt, who's been doing this for much longer than I have. That's for sure. But it was definitely interesting. I'm not a very highly technical person, so. But I have been learning how to do that, and that's been really exciting for me to finally like get into that and actually have an opportunity to sit down and do that.
okay, cool.
yeah, working with the tools is so nice because so many of them are like actually like specific to what you actually need them to do, unlike Unity, which covers
Yeah.
a whole lot of things that it does. Some of them. Okay.
I'd say more specifically, like one thing I hate about Unity is I think you have to pay to actually get access to their source code.
Yeah.
Like
I believe
I
you're
can't
right.
actually touch. So as a programmer, I'm like, I'm just supposed to learn how Unity stuff works, and it's like black box. I can't touch it. But here, when I learn how it works, I can actually look at it and be like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And that's happened like 80 times already.
Well, no, similar thing that Kat said, which is like you going in Unity, Unity's very broad spectrum and like it lets you do a lot of things, a very powerful tool. But here, everything's hyper specific and focused on the types of games you're making. So it's really nice once you learn the tools. The hardest thing for me was learning visual scripting because Unity, I think they just got it, but before I had not done visual scripting at all, so I had to learn that from scratch because I didn't use Unreal before. But it was, once I learned it, like it is such a powerful tool and it's so nice having like all these things at my disposal and knowing how they work now.
Yeah. So I guess before we get any deeper into any of this stuff or what you've all been doing here, how did you all like get here? Like, what was the process for like finding out the internship and applying for it and getting accepted and all that?
So, pretty much Bradley and Volition were like, hey, interns, that'd be cool. So our teacher, David, hooked us all up. He said, hey, Volition's offering this thing. You guys should all apply for it. Pretty much told like the entire interactive media department, which is what we're all a part of.
And the CS department.
And the CS department. I'm sorry, Jason, I forget sometimes.
I forgive you.
But, so pretty much we all went through that. There were like 3 or 4 different types of internships that they were offering, and each of us, depending on our major, applied for different ones. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually have a funny story about my application, which was David had talked about this before the spring semester, so like back in like December of last year.
Yeah.
And in my brain, I'm going, I don't think I'm good for this. I'm not prepared for this.
Yeah.
So I waited and I didn't want to do it, and I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not good enough for this. I waited the very last possible day to apply for this internship is when I applied. And I'm like, that was the dumbest thing I could have done. I probably won't get it now because of that. And I ended up getting it, and that was like the point where I was like, oh man, that was like a real big turning point there. That could have gone totally differently. So don't wait.
Yeah,
That's a
exactly.
good one.
I actually have a similar story too. So I mentioned that I came in as a transfer and that I came in this previous fall. So I had David's Game Design 1 class, and he had briefly mentioned the internship back when it was just like a concept and nothing had really been finalized yet. It's like, hey, this might be a thing that you should look out for. And he mentioned that they're going to probably be looking at juniors and seniors first, so talking to a class full of sophomores, like you may not get it, but you should totally still apply.
Right.
And while I technically do have junior standing, I'm still only going in with like 4 months of experience. So I'm just like, maybe I'll hold off for now, but at least I'll keep an eye on it. And then one day, it was actually for a project. I don't remember what happened exactly, but David was chewing out a project that I was doing because we didn't get our stuff done, and I didn't know that whatever happened.
Yeah.
But he literally was chewing us out about how we should have had something done. We didn't do what we should have done. And overall, just, of course, being upset with us that we didn't have our stuff together. And so we went back into the room, and I'm just like, oh, God. I didn't even know this was broken up until now. And then he pulls me, he just goes, hey, Kenzie. And I'm like, And I go back to talk to me. It's just like, by the way, you should apply for Volition. Directly after chewing me out for having
man.
a broken build for a game. So I ended up applying, and with only 6 months of experience, I'm pretty proud of myself for getting here, and it's been incredible.
Nice. So this was actually something I was going to ask you when we were taking the promo picture yesterday, just because I didn't personally know. But doing the internships here, I hope they're paid, right?
Yes.
We are getting
Yes.
We are getting paid.
which is great.
Good.
It's awesome.
Always
Yeah,
pay your interns.
I'm so
For
happy.
God's
Pay your
sake.
interns.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
It's so nice. Like actually having like a 3-month internship where you're getting paid
Yeah.
decent rate for full-time work basically, and it's like, thank you.
Okay, so you're all are full time here too? I didn't know
Yep.
if it was just like a part time
Yeah.
thing or not.
We're
Yeah.
working full time.
We're
Okay,
working full time, and I actually I don't live in Champaign right now
Okay.
for this internship. There were a few extenuating circumstances prior to, like I said, I waited to the last second to do this internship that caused more problems than it was worth.
Right.
So I actually have an 1.5-hour drive here one way. So I have a 3-hour total drive every day.
Oof.
But
That's rough.
I gotta say it's definitely worth it, and that's I think means that says a lot to me about working here, that I don't mind that every day.
Yeah. So like when all of you started here, were there any type of like preconceptions you had about working in game dev that have been shattered since working here, or how different is it from how you expected?
It's so completely different, but also kind of what I expected at the same time.
Okay.
So like, ooh, I don't know. Like I was like going into this, I was like, oh man, everybody who works there is gonna be so cool. They're gonna be like awesome. They're gonna be so good at what they do, and all of that is true. But like, everybody here is also so nice and like so easy to talk to and go to with any problems I have, which is something I was really hoping for, but wouldn't know if it actually would be like that. So
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, and the way the interactive media department at Bradley is structured feels very similar to, like, I thought it wasn't going to be as similar as
Yeah.
it has been here, where it's just like most of the time very casual atmosphere. But I think the big difference and the important difference is that here, when things need to get serious, they get serious, but they don't get like painfully serious.
Right. It's not like a I feel like my time working here, it's not like a foreboding like sense of
Yeah.
doom or like, oh, everyone's pissed off. No, it's just like, yeah, people get serious because they want the stuff they're working on like to be good.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's great.
but yeah, I've personally, like, real quick, like, I feel like this is the first game dev place I've ever worked at. I'd always thought like it'd be cool to do that, but I never will. It doesn't seem like a realistic thing. And yeah, coming here, it's so strange just to see the inner workings, because it's like, even when you think you know how it works, just seeing like just the minor details and everything, like you don't even think about just how people interact and all that. It's just like, it's crazy to see. But yeah, so all of you working here and doing all this stuff, like you've also been doing the game design courses at Bradley and stuff, and you had mentioned in an email that there's this thing called Fuse. What is Fuse?
So Fuse is our end of the year showcase that we have every year, and it's basically the entire interactive media department kind of being able to. I heard this phrase from somebody else: flex their creativity
Okay.
and be able to work with other disciplines. So anything that we wouldn't be able to do in a class, we would be able to do for Fuse. Like, I did a museum project for one of my projects. There are people that'll do things in VR. There are people that do things in AR. They'll do their own games. People will make their animations. And it's basically all of us coming together at the Peoria Riverfront Museum and showing off these different projects that we have a lot of passion for. And it's a really incredible experience to watch all of that too.
Yeah, so pretty much all of the different majors, because we have game design students, we have animation students, and we have user experience design students.
Okay.
We all get shoved into teams together that are normally like around 20 people, a little bit less than 20 people, and said, hey, go make something. It can be a video game, it can be an experience. Most of the times we make video games because that's what is the fun thing to make most of the time.
Yeah.
but it's a way to work on a project like really intensely and actually work on something to completion and show it off to the public and say, hey, this is what we do with what we're learning in school.
Okay.
And also, it's all outside of class time as well.
Right.
Like it's all done on our own time. It's not there's like one Fuse production class, and that's just to keep everyone scheduled correctly. But it's all personally. Everyone takes time out of their day, free time, and makes these projects to present at the end of the year. The only exception to that are the senior animations and the game capstone, and those are the only two exceptions to that rule.
Okay.
Something else to mention too is that the day before our Fuse Showcase, we actually have a VIP day where we invite people from people in the industry, such as Volition. We have a lot of Volition people that come since Peoria is only an hour and a half away.
Right.
And they'll come and they'll see our projects and maybe give us feedback on what we're doing or just see what we're doing in general. And then occasionally we'll have some alumni come back, other higher ups. Last year we actually had Jim Boone come in, and then the co-founder of our department actually came back for a little while too.
Oh, nice.
To see all of our projects. So that's also really cool for us to see.
Cool. So have all of you participated in this more than one time?
Yes.
Okay.
No,
I've only
Okay.
participated in it once as well.
I have as
All right.
well.
Okay. Since we brought that up, so the video that you sent me, that is what you worked on for
Yes,
Fuse,
it
correct?
is.
All right. So since you sent me this video, Mike, if you can switch us over to the PC over here, can you talk about what this project of yours was?
So this video is a little bit long. This is actually the video that we used at our Fuse Showcase to kind of like promote it because we were kind of in a little bit of a back corner by the planetarium. So this was actually done at 2 times speed when we did it. But this is Nebula, which is a planet creation experience. And the entire idea of it is that kids will be able to pick their own planet. Right now we're on the terrestrial, but there's also the gas giant.
Okay.
And they get to put it, in the case of terrestrial, the biomes, the different features such as mountains, trees, whatnot. And they'll be able to pick an atmosphere. And at the end, they will be able to see some scientific facts about the planet, which currently is more placeholder than not. We're still working out some details with it, trying to get it all to work. We ran into some problems towards the end of the first part of production.
Right.
The coolest part about Nebula, though, is that this was the first project to be picked up as a permanent exhibit at the Peoria Riverfront Museum.
Oh, nice.
Which it's not actually currently being there because we had some bugs that we had to fill out before we can actually display it. However, this will be a permanent exhibit at some point soon. And my role on this was I was the user experience design lead. So the way that I put it is that most of the decisions of like how the UI was laid out, how each of the features work, those were mostly designed by me, or I was help delegating people to design that as well. I worked with another very, very talented UI designer, and he helped put a lot of this in. I wouldn't have been able to do it without him. So the idea was to try and make the UI fun, but also easy to use and to help kids really get engaged with what they're making.
Right.
And there were a lot of design decisions that I could go into for like half an hour about it. I won't do that, I promise.
Just whip out the whole design doc right
Yeah,
here.
you know, I actually made like a 100-page document with
wow.
all of the design decisions that we made with screenshots. But here you can see like the different, like the name. These are actually names that NASA uses to name some of their
cool.
planets too. That is actually one of the things. The gas giant's really cool though because we actually used the Unity shaders to do it, and it looks really, really cool in practice. You can see how the different colors blend together really well.
Yeah.
And if I had to say what was my pet project during Bradley, this was it, for sure. We are actually continuing to develop next fall. I'm doing an independent study with David, and as well as lead Trent Lewis and the programming lead Stephen Drovey. And we're going to take this beyond this as well. And a lot of the art was also done by James Allison, who's a freshman at Bradley. And we put our heart and souls into it. We love this project, and yeah, that's
really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's like going to be like a permanent exhibit.
We're really excited for it. It was funny because when we came up with the idea initially, basically how Fuse works is we get divided up into the teams and then we have to pitch it to the staff, to the faculty and the seniors. And then out of like the 16 or so teams, they only pick like 5, 6.
6 or 7?
Yeah, 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So a few days before they announced it, we actually got an email saying, hey, so this will probably be picked first off, which was a strange email to get. But also, I was talking to the museum, they want this as a permanent exhibit, and we're just like, wait, what? I'm sorry?
A lot of pressure to put on you before you even started making it.
But every single person that worked on this has put their heart and soul into it, and we all love this project to death, and it's we're excited to keep working on it and to see where it goes. I'm hoping a year from now it'll look even better and it'll continue to grow.
And Kenzie, this is a touchscreen.
Yes, this is all a touchscreen experience.
Okay.
My apologies. It's actually on a screen about like the one that's in this room right now. So
Okay, yeah. So it's about
maybe a little bit smaller than this.
Okay, so it's about like 40 inches then, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
roughly. It might even be a little bit smaller, like a 36.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly.
Yeah. Something I'm curious about is when working on this, like I know that, obviously you would have to test out the builds and stuff like that. Did you ever do any style of play testing with kids or anything like that?
So, something cool about the Fuse process is that they'll actually bring in some kids from the local school areas to be able to test. However, this year we couldn't do that because
They were on spring break.
Yeah, they were all on spring break,
Oh,
so we
man.
couldn't bring the kids in to test. But something cool I did notice
Darn,
was
still
the
find
VIP day, the morning that we actually set up, or it was like the night before, so like the Thursday beforehand, there was actually, the first person that touched it was this 2-year-old.
Okay.
And they knew exactly what to do with the terrestrial planet without even
that's great.
thinking about it, which was, as a UX designer, that is my dream.
Yeah.
Everything I designed with this, with how it works with the icons, hopefully would come through and be an easy experience for everybody. And like I said, I couldn't have done that without the team. It wasn't just me.
Yeah.
But it was really incredible to actually sit there and watch like kids that couldn't even read be able to pick this up instantly
That's
be able
really
to play
awesome.
with it.
Yeah, because it's like we had a previous stream where somebody from our staff was talking about a thing they previously worked on where it's like it was aimed at kids. They had to have kids do playtesting for it, and they just said like that is like such a different experience than normal playtesting because it's like the goals are like super different.
For sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Pretty much all of the projects we make for Fuse, our target audience that we're going for is 5th graders. So the games we're making aren't necessarily like, they're not like shoot 'em ups and stuff. They're like, they're educational or fun or just little things that kids will enjoy.
Right. So when you were first told like, oh yeah, this is, before you had even like done anything, this was going to be like like a permanent exhibit. Maybe you said it, it just went right over my head. But did you even know what you were doing it for the project, or like was that even before like there was any type of proposal?
So all we had at that point was a basic pitch, which at the time was a little bit more cartoon-like and a little bit more unrealistic because we just wanted the kids to have fun.
Right.
And then when we were approached with, at the time it was only the possibility of it being a museum exhibit, that's when we went the more scientific direction. A lot of the stuff that we used in the pitch ended up kind of getting like thrown out the window, unfortunately. But the core concept was there. Something that we did cut from the original pitch, though, is after kids are done creating their planets, they would be able to upload it to a server and it would be displayed alongside other planets that people have made. So to add a little bit of a community aspect. Unfortunately, we didn't have time for that, and that's actually going to be one of our main goals going into the next semester, is to try and get that going, as well as get more science into it.
Right.
So.
All right. Well, Mike, if you can switch us back to a full screen here real quick, we'll get, because we have a video for another Fuse project here to talk about.
Sure. Here we go.
So yeah, tell us about this project.
Sweet. So this is the project that I worked on called Deep Space Escape. It's a VR escape room game. It was a lot of fun to work on. It was crazy. So my role on the team was a UI artist. So I made all the things that are like popping up at you and saying like the things that are blue, bright blue mostly. Most of those I worked on and made.
Yeah.
So this was really cool to work on because I'd never made anything in VR before. So this was a completely new experience for me. So the whole experience pretty much, we went into it, when we proposed the game, it was actually going to be an AR game at first.
Okay.
And then we quickly realized about, like, at the semester mark, we were like, we can't make an AR game. This is not going to work.
Right.
We don't have the capacity to do that. It's not going to happen. So we, like, quickly, like, did a quick pivot and said, okay, we're going to make a VR game instead. So pretty much we had to make all of the 3D assets and change a lot of our gameplay, like, kind of hot at the end of at the start of the second semester working on the project.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much the way the game works is you have these two guns. One's a gravity gun, which is what you use when you're picking it up right now to interact with the elements in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So it moves stuff around, you can pick stuff up, you can throw it, stuff like that. The other gun is the teleport gun. That's how you actually get around. That's how we'd thought about a couple of different ways to allow players to move throughout the game. Having them walk around wasn't really an option because we have like a not very big space and you're connected with tons of wires. We don't have any of the like wireless headsets yet or anything. This was designed for the Oculus
Vive.
It was for the Vive. So we had to take that into consideration. So the way that we came up with teleporting, I thought was actually pretty cool. It's really seamless and it's really intuitive. So everybody who picked up the gravity gun like knew right away, the teleport gun, knew how to get around really fast, which is what the goal was. So once you actually get into the actual game here, maybe, there we go. So pretty much the game, as we worked on it, we shifted less from a escape room to more of it's like a series of puzzles that you have to get through in order to escape this broken ship and become a space cadet, pretty much, more or less.
Nice.
But yeah, it was just a ton of fun to work on, and it was cool working on the UI art because we got to go like crazy space themed. So me and my friend who was another UI artist on it, we just like had a ton of fun like making like these futuristic screens that like look like they're from Star Wars or something. But yeah, it was a super cool project to work on.
What were some of the like difficulties working with this? Because I know you said that like this is your first time working with VR.
Sure,
Were there some like unforeseen issues cropping up while working on that?
Well, so making UI art for VR is a lot harder than you think it's going to be at first. Because most of the time you don't want to put anything like normally you would put like a health bar up in the top like left corner or something in a normal game. If you do that in VR, your eyes are gonna go up and then your head's gonna go up. So your entire time like someone's playing it, if there's something on the controller that's up in a corner, they're just gonna be like looking around like this.
Right.
Which is not what you want them to do ever. You want them to be engaging with the environment and looking around, and it looks like they're just about to be at the game right here actually. So instead of putting the UI on like the HUD like we normally would, it's all either on the two guns or like around in the environment. So learning that was what we needed to do was a big hurdle to get over. And then it also kind of like hamstrunged what we could do with the UI. It's a little bit more text-based than I would normally want to go with UI. So like it has a lot of text on your guns that's saying, hey, this is what you should be doing right now. This is what your next step is. Which was also kind of a problem in UI, in VR, because it's kind of hard to read that. When you're actually playing the game, you kind of have to like hold it up to your face, which is probably not the most graceful way we could have done it, but it works out fairly. But yeah, so there were a lot of challenges like that, and pretty much.
Nice.
Oh man! So pretty much, I don't think anyone in our team had actually worked on VR at all before working on this game. So pretty much for everybody, it was a learning curve of how to do this and how to do it in Unity and how to make it actually fun.
Had any of you like played VR stuff beforehand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like we're all like everybody in the IM department is for the most part like big gamers and stuff. So we like have messed around with VR games and we were like, oh, it'd be so cool. Like VR is so dope. It's so fun.
Yeah.
But
Also, in our department, we have a VR room that you can request access to.
Oh, nice.
So if you don't have a headset or don't have a computer that can run it, you can always use the departments, and that's also really nice for that because if you really wanted to try VR, you could just go in there and like
Right.
it's a community sort
super
of
nice.
Steam account. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, that's cool because it's like I played tons of games and like it wasn't until like earlier this year that I really in earnest started trying VR stuff just because it was just like it feels like VR is such a constantly evolving space that it's just
Exactly.
like, do I want a headset now? No, they're going to be better
Just
in
keep
a year.
waiting.
Just keep
Yeah,
waiting.
exactly.
Exactly, cheaper.
At some point, they won't need wires, and I was right.
Yes.
The Quest
Thank
or whatever.
God.
Yeah.
Quest
yeah.
and the Index like has that like adapter now.
Yeah,
There's
I
so
think
many
so.
of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's just so many. It's like partially just like being paralyzed by choice. You know, it's just like it's gonna get better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really cool. So working was this also Unity, by the way?
This is also Unity.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that primarily like the stuff you work with?
That's
and-
what our school uses. Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty much we're told here use Unity, and that's what they teach us.
I'm curious. Last week we streamed Super Mario Maker 2.
I saw. Yes.
And while talking, playing that game and talking about that stuff, the people that were on mentioned that like there was a point for just like a day in like one of their game design courses, they were actually given Mario Maker 2, like to just an example of like level design stuff. Have you gotten anything like that in your courses yet, or has it been more like actual tools and stuff?
Let's see. Well, a lot of it is you have to know what you're working with to like be a good designer. You have to like ingest a ton of things.
Right.
So they're always like, hey, go play games and like actually learn how to do it. I haven't had any game design classes, so I don't know. I can't.
Oh,
say.
okay.
Take the design
Yeah.
option.
Oh yeah, you don't either.
Yeah, that's news to me. No, so at least in the I've graduated already, so I've taken all the design courses,
Right.
and so at least so far there hasn't really been we're gonna in class play this game and use this game to build things. It's been
Right.
more looking at games and how they're structured. Like
Okay.
there was an entire section in in Krig's, which is the critical game studies class when I took it, that was dedicated to Mario 1-1. And like
Okay.
how that's like a master class in game design,
Yep.
and like we broke down the level to its base components just to show why it's so good. So we definitely use games as examples for good
Okay.
design and to learn from that, but we haven't used a game to build levels and to build good designs yet, really.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because I was curious just because I was never like when I was in college, like I never aimed for like I'm gonna be in in games or something. I was like a graphic designer, but there was just like a game design course, but that was like so long ago that like I don't even know if Unity was. I don't know if Unity was like in a place to be used as a learning tool yet.
Probably not.
I mean that was 2009 or 10, so
I think you probably could have been
I think you probably could have
Yeah.
used it, but it was
Yeah.
just like I don't think it had been adopted by a ton of classes yet. But
Sure.
yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, our department didn't really start like they were using Unity, but it wasn't like really pushed as far until like 2 years ago or so.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or actually more like 3 years ago. When I first started in the department, everyone was using Unity, but it wasn't like there weren't a whole bunch of classes specifically dedicated to teaching Unity. It was more
Okay.
like, here's this game design class, we're going to use Unity, and we're just going to learn as we go. So there's really more push for Unity to be used, and now that Unity's coming out with their own visual scripting, it's gotten
Right.
more opportunities to learn different aspects of game design tools as well.
Okay. Yeah, I've always been curious what like actual game design courses and stuff like that is like now, just because it like at least at my college like didn't even exist really yet. So I was curious like what state that type of stuff is in right now.
They're constantly evolving. Like
Yeah.
every year,
I bet.
every year something's added. Every year a course is changed. Like it's rapid.
Yeah. So like in those courses too, is it exclusively video games, or is there ever times where you delve into game design for like tabletop or anything like that? Are those like separate
Yeah.
courses?
So Game Design 1 is actually for the entire first like 3 quarters of the semester, it is all analog games.
Okay.
So when I went through Game Design 1, I had to make a dice game, which wasn't
Alright.
very good, but that's okay. I had to make a 9-card nano game, which actually turned out pretty good, and I had to make a regular card game, which I think mine had like 42 cards in it. And for the card game, we couldn't just use like the typical 52 card deck. We had to make our own like art and like make it like a full game with actual mechanics. And then for the last project, we actually went back to Unity and we made a what was it? It was a 2D shooter game.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So different from her. So my game design one, like I said, constantly evolving. we did all analog games, board games, that, and then for our final thing, we actually made an escape room, like a physical escape room.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I forgot about that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I forgot
That's
about
cool.
We designed puzzles, and then actually there was some empty singles dorms in one of the areas, and we built our escape rooms in those
man.
dorms, set up cameras and everything, and like had students come in and go run through them.
That's yeah.
Did you
that's,
actually lock them in?
Yes.
I hope it wasn't one of the escape rooms where they actually like handcuff you, because I've gone
no.
through a couple
No,
of those,
no,
and
no.
those are awful.
No, it was very fun. It was a lot of pain though. Because
Yeah.
I had to go to one of my professor's houses and use his like garage and start like woodworking tools and
Oh,
stuff.
God.
I used saws and stuff and like cut. We were making all kinds of stuff. It was great, but it was also just all over the place.
Yeah, yeah. That's like a personal thing I really want to do, is just like design an escape room, just because I personally have just ended up playing a lot of those. I'm at like 20 or something, but anyways, escape rooms are cool. If no one's ever done one, please do one. Just make sure it's like an actually well-reviewed one.
Yes.
Don't go to chains.
Ooh.
Do not go to chains. I've been to a chain escape room. It's not great.
Yeah, I have some stories I could tell, but that's for another time. But yeah, your internships are 3 months, something like that. Okay. So after your internships are over and all of that, how many of you like really want to, like, after you graduate and all that, like, get into the games industry? Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, it's really cool to see people who are like gearing up for this thing, because I feel like so many people, because like at the studio it's been around for over 2 decades. A lot of people here I feel are people who kind of fell into the game industry. I feel like that's a common story for a lot of people. So it's cool to see people like actually like getting ready for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, something I wanted to ask, since you're all into games and all that, what are personally some games y'all have been playing right now?
Ooh, right now? What am I playing right now?
Why are you asking us? I don't know.
What was a good game?
I've actually
no.
I've actually been picking up Bayonetta again. The first game. I played the
Nice.
second one for the Wii U. Tried playing it twice and I didn't finish because school got in the way.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get through the first one right now, and it's a lot of fun. I think it's a little unfair at times, though.
I want to see because I love Bayonetta, but I want to see if I can guess one of the unfair things. Is it every time it introduces a new enemy via a cutscene, it starts an attack in the cutscene and immediately connects with you the instant the
That
cutscene is done?
exact thing.
Yeah.
Also, I enjoyed the game a lot, but it was a little bit jarring in the middle of the game to suddenly get the dash ability and on the same button as the dodge.
Yeah, double tap to dash.
Yeah,
thing.
I'm not
Yep.
sure if I really like it, but I think I can understand why they did it, because I actually was talking to Jason about it, and he brought up a good point that they don't want you to spam the dodge button, so it's to help you time it better.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that
I was
game.
making fighting game jokes because I only play fighting games.
Okay.
but you brought up a good point. So.
I mean, Bayonetta and fighting games do share a decent amount of
There
like
you
DNA,
see?
especially.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, if I remember correctly, Bayonetta even has a penalty for dodging too much. Like, if it's more than 5 times.
Really?
If you dodge more than, if you start spamming dodge on the 6th dodge, she does a really high jump and she just lands like on the ground and she just stays there for a bit before she gets back up.
Yeah, I don't really enjoy how punishing the game is. I think a lot of those problems were relieved in Bayonetta 2. It's not
Yeah.
as punishing there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm still enjoying the game. I'm interested in the story. Overall, I'm having fun with it, so that's all I guess matters to me. I'm also very much a sucker for Animal Crossing. I love Animal
Yeah.
Crossing so much.
They finally showed the new one
I know.
after what felt like 3,000 years of denying us a real Animal Crossing. I want to
Right.
play the board
It's
game.
I know.
It
It
was
was
gorgeous.
It was funny. The day they released it, I was actually watching a Nintendo stream for that, and I was like almost crying at my desk, like trying not to
Wait. I was watching the direct here, and they
Yeah.
showed it, and I heard I heard a woman go, "Oh my God!" Or, was that you?
I don't think so.
Okay, because I'm pretty sure somebody from the QA pit.
Yeah, I'm on the
but-
second floor, so I don't think that was
Okay.
me. It was more like I was just silently crying at my desk, being like, finally.
Okay, because
It's finally happening.
it must have been somebody in the QA pit, but I heard someone here going like, "Oh my god!" Like the instant, like they're just showing anything. So
So excited.
that's great.
Cool.
Have you
Let's
figured out what
see.
you're playing, Katrina?
I have figured out what I play in general.
Okay.
I play a lot of rhythm games and indie roguelikes, which just means that
Alright.
I go to round 1 too much, and
support
I
this.
play a lot of games on my Switch. But yeah, like, I don't know, indie roguelikes are just fun because you can spend so much time in them. Like, I have
Oh
like
yeah.
hundreds of hours on like Binding of Isaac and Enter the Gungeon and stuff, so I can talk about those for forever. But Jason, do you want to talk about fighting games?
Oh my goodness, I want to talk fighting games. I play a lot of fighting games. So most recently I've been playing Blaze Blue Central Fiction, which is kind of an old one, but
Yeah.
like there's a new one out, but I don't think people like it as much, and I agree with them.
Okay. All right.
Central Fiction's better.
Wow, talking trash to Blaze
Yeah,
Blue.
we're getting hot takes here.
Hot take from Jason.
We're not going to go into it. It's a long time. But I've been playing a lot of that. I'd be hard pressed not to mention Rivals of Aether, probably my
There you
favorite.
go.
Ooh, so good.
Yes, you know it. It's the best.
I about made his day one night when I said, "Hey, I want to play Rivals of Aether." He's just like, "Oh, yes, we're gonna play." And so we played a few rounds. He beat me really badly because it was my first time playing, but it was fun.
I have a lot of
Yeah.
hours in Rivals of Aether.
Some might say too many.
No, I don't think it's actually possible to have too many.
We don't video game shame here.
That's true. You know what? You're right.
Yeah.
I have thousands of hours in other games. It's
Yeah,
fine.
so none of us
Right
can
now, I have given my life to Destiny 2.
talk.
All right.
Oh boy.
See, and you're talking to me about too many hours.
Look, I was about to just
like,
come
yeah?
back. No, I've given my life to Destiny 2 recently, and as well as Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And I had Assassin's Creed Odyssey back when Google was trying out Stadia as Project Stream.
Oh yeah.
And I played it through on there. I don't usually play games on PC. I'm mostly an Xbox gamer, and they gave it to me for free. So I played a bunch of it on my PC when I had that.
Yep.
And then my friend was like, "Oh man, I wanted to play like same time as you on Xbox," and it was the whole collector's edition was on sale for like 70% off. And I also didn't have the DLC on PC, so I'm just like, I'll just buy it here, and it was cheaper that way. And so I've been playing through it a second time after having already played it through entirely on PC. So yeah, I really like that game.
Oh man, that sounds like what I did like earlier this year, which was my idea of like, oh, I never played the DLC for The Witcher 3. I know, I'll play all of The Witcher 3 again first before I do.
That's the only
It's a
logical
really,
solution.
it's a super great
That's what you're
idea.
gonna do, yeah.
Does anybody else have the problem where it's just like, I've got like 5 or 6 games that I need to play, but I'm going to play like my
same
game is
game
always,
again?
Yeah.
I'm going to play Tomb Raider again for like the Rise of the Tomb Raider again for the 6th time in a row.
Yeah,
Every time I'm
yeah, it's
going to go back to Animal Crossing.
it is a curse. I do that too. It's my curse is more just having too many games.
Yes.
It's just the backlog.
For sure.
Back when the Steam sales were real steep, like 5 or 6 years ago, just amassed a whole just a dragon's horde of games, and still haven't touched 98%
I'll get to
of
these
them.
one day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh man, I'll never beat all those games. It's not. Just bury me with them when I'm 1,000 years old. But cool. So yeah, you've still got a little bit time left in your internships here. So just overall, how have you felt about the whole experience? Just seeing what we do here.
It's been so helpful. Like,
Yeah.
I've learned so much in the only 2 months that I've been here. It's like insane.
Our professor came in and had meetings with us twice so far for internships, just to touch
Okay.
base with us. So David came in and he was talking to us, and he put the question to us: how many college classes do you think your time here has been worth?
Yeah.
in comparison, and there's no comparison to there. This is just so much more knowledge and information we've learned in such a short amount of time. More than I ever
Right.
thought I would
Yeah.
end up learning ever in the amount of in a month and a half, in 2 months, when we did this. It's been insane, but it's been a good sort of insane.
Cool. Yeah, it's. I gotta say, I am just a little jealous.
I'm here though.
I mean, I am working here, but it's just God, I wish I could, there were no, because there were, 0 game dev courses in my college. It was just a more traditional college, blah, blah, blah. But it's just that, that stuff I think didn't exist there until, this year for my thing. So it's just, it's just so cool like that there are opportunities like this
For
like
sure.
cropping up now
Right,
and all
it's
that.
cool.
And like I know our studio has does outreach for some other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was brought up in the previous stream, but like they do like projects with Michigan State University because there's a decent amount of people here from state and all of that. But I have one question I was thinking that isn't. I haven't asked anybody this yet, and I feel like this is a
Be afraid.
good group to ask. What if you had an unlimited budget and there is no scope issues? What's the game that you personally would want to make?
Boy. There's so many possibilities.
There are a ton of games that I would love to make. If I knew everything there was and could if I could hire anybody I needed and everything. Ooh, I think I would. Oh, there's so many IPs that I would just want to be take over.
No, yeah, I'm in the same boat. I would want to use an existing IP. I wouldn't
Yeah.
make one of my own things.
I would total pipe dream would be to make my own rhythm game. I think that'd be super cool, especially
Yeah.
an arcade version. Oh, they're so cool. There's nothing better than playing a really well designed arcade game.
There is something better.
No, there's
It's
not.
called a really good fighting game.
The Venn diagram here overlaps. There's fighting game arcade games.
Yeah,
Fighting
but,
game
yeah.
rhythm
So you're
game.
saying nothing better than a really good. It has to be a fighting game. Is what I'd
Okay.
specify.
So
Do you have a specific fighting game you'd want to?
The thing is, I'm not smart enough to come up with a good fighting game. I'd just program it. I need someone
Is-
to come up. So I'll buy an idea guy.
Okay, all right. There's plenty of idea guys out there. If you had to base it on a specific fighting game formula, like a
Yeah,
Marvel
like
versus
what type?
Capcom, or which one would you go towards?
I think just because I've been playing nonstop Blaze Blue for the past 2 months, it'd have to be
Okay.
Blaze Blue.
Really, not Rivals of Aether?
Yeah, but that's the thing is Rivals of Aether. All right, I'd make a fighting game that the start of you have a ton of menus and you get to pick which fighting game you're playing. So I can just make every fighting game,
Oh,
every
gee.
iteration of every fighting
Okay.
game. If I have unlimited money and time,
Cover all the
That's
bases.
just go for it all.
That's
That is the
cop-out.
most on the fence answer.
If you give a monkey a typewriter, he'll type
He'll
Shakespeare type
eventually-
thing.
Yeah, there you
I'll
go.
just have it all.
So you just want an NES/SNES, a 10,000 games in one
Yeah.
cartridge, but actually fill with
But
10,000
with
games?
AAA titles.
Okay.
Yeah, and not bootlegs.
Yeah, bootlegs.
Yeah,
Original content, just
There you go.
everything.
I would use all my money and all that time to make a sequel to Republic Commando finally, but with
Oh man, yeah.
I
Mike knows what you're talking about.
I have wanted more of that game. I got that game when it came out in 2005, and I have never stopped. I've never forgotten it, and I just want a sequel more. I would use all that money and time to just make the perfect. I say the perfect sequel, but if we have unlimited time, it will be the perfect sequel.
Yeah.
And make it much longer and
Okay.
all kinds of just keep going with the same formula. It's such a good formula. I'm sorry. Okay, go on.
The chat, Matrix Vinjin in the chat said, so you just want to make Mugen, right? Mugen?
Me?
No, you. For the fighting game.
I haven't actually played Mugen, so I really can't. I can't. Oh no, wait. Oh, I know which one that. Oh no, that's giving. It gives down on some quality though. I would have everything's got to be hand drawn.
Okay.
And it'll be really, really.
So everything's going to
on
be
the production
sprite-based, no
design.
no 3D models? Or is it, some of the games are 2D, some are 3D?
I think Mugen's 2D. I think.
Mugen is 2D.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, but it's really I don't know. It feels a little. I want to say jank because it's still well made, but it's
Okay.
it's too. It feels too. Feels too fan made. I want it to feel like AAA title.
All right.
style.
Okay.
AAA scale.
Yeah.
There you go.
Everyone's
Over the
in it.
top. Everyone's got to have I don't know. I see. Once again, I need to hire an idea guy for this. I don't know. What it is.
Everyone has at least 10 different instant kill moves, like in Guilty Gear, and they all have extremely. They all have
good stuff.
extremely complicated inputs, and you have to buy a hitbox to even pull them off. Yeah.
Okay.
Or there are Blaze Blue characters like Naoto. It's the picture of Naoto is him with a bloodied hand, and he's all about frame perfect inputs. So people always make the jokes, and you literally have to become Naoto with this bloodied hand. So as
Fighting games are real dumb, and that's the best thing about
play
them.
a fair amount of Naotos,
Okay.
There you go.
Oh,
as you can
boy.
tell from my.
Yeah, you're just mangled hands.
Broken fingers.
All right.
I'm always cracking
Yeah,
my
what's
knuckles
your
and
game,
stuff.
Kenzie?
It's
That's
probably
a that's
'cause
a
of that.
diverse set of ultimate video games to be made.
What Kenzie? What do you?
Yeah, wait.
Oh,
wait.
okay.
Oh, right,
It's
yeah.
like a fighting game.
Oh, God. Okay, if I had to pick one game, I would pick I would make another Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game.
Oh, that's
so
actually-
Okay.
similar.
Okay.
Very,
That is also what
but specifically like Explorers of Time,
Yes.
Time, Darkness, and Sky.
Yep.
I love those games. Those are the games that made me want to make games. And the more recent releases. Against Infinity, I didn't really enjoy very much. Super Mystery Dungeon was a little bit closer, but like nothing has quite captured me like the story in
Yeah.
the second installment. And
so good.
yeah, it's just it's so good. I would love to create like a true sequel to that with like another gut wrenching story.
With actually good.
I did
pixel
not
art.
Yeah,
know
with
it
like
had-
a really really good pixel art.
Yeah.
Okay. I did not know it had a gut wrenching story.
It does.
it
I cry
does.
every single time I replay
That's-
that game.
that's
which
messed
is
up.
a lot.
Oh my god. I guess this will be our closing question then, since you just answered it. What's the game that made you want to get into making games?
Oh my bad.
I think mine's probably the same thing. I think it's probably Pokemon Mystery Dungeon or just Pokemon games in general. I really love that Pokemon games are a ton of fun and also like are a really good way to teach kids like really good values most of the time. Like lots of the Pokemon games have really cool messages that they try to impart. Are you gonna disagree with me,
No,
Jason? You're
I'm
making a
finding
face
this-
at me.
Can't I just be intrigued by this conversation without
You're
being
never
enjoyed?
just intrigued.
What do you mean?
Oh my god.
But so many of the Pokemon games just have so much heart in them, so much soul, especially like the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, the Pokemon Rangers. They have just like, the things I love are just like little things that you know like someone spent a lot of time on and it really
Yeah.
shows. And I love that so much about the series.
See, I like the Pokemon dungeon. You don't know why I need to be judged.
You were
for
making
it.
a face at me.
It was a smile. I would say the game that I think has driven me most towards, I don't know if you guys have ever played it, Little Big Planet.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Little Big Planet 2 was like, it took what was already God's gift to mankind and made it better. It was amazing.
So the game that really pushed me to game design was a game my mother didn't understand ESRB ratings back
Okay.
when she first bought. The first game she ever bought me was the original Halo on
Okay.
PC.
Okay.
And that game has stuck with me. I still remember playing, like the first couple weeks I played it, all those years ago. I was 8 years old when she got it from me. And that game was just, I had never experienced like a story from being able to be the main character and just like going through all these levels and experiencing everything for the first time was such a magical experience for me.
Yeah.
And a close second to that, which fueled my fire even more, which I got later, was the Knights of the Old Republic. The 2 was the first one I got.
Yep.
And that game broke me. Like, for those of you who have played it, you know there's a twist, and that twist I had to stop. I put the game down, and I had to sit. For 2 days I couldn't do anything. I was sitting like staring blank at a wall for like 2 days after it had happened, and the fact that it could affect me that much really sort of drove my passion for games.
Yeah.
For sure.
That was Life is Strange for me. That game definitely broke me. Like
Yeah.
halfway through and then again at the end. Oh, I love that game, but my heart.
Oh. I still haven't played Life is Strange, and unfortunately, I know like everything about it because I watched somebody else play it. It's just like,
Yeah.
It's definitely one of those games where I think you have to experience it firsthand.
I'll probably go
honestly.
back to it at some point in my gigantic backlog.
Sure.
Do as I say, not as I do. Don't get a huge backlog. You'll regret it. You'll never play all those games.
You'll just look at it and wonder why.
You'll just get anxiety about playing video
There you
games.
go. This is supposed to be
it's too long.
relaxing.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go play Tomb Raider again.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Play the things you already know. All right, but cool. I guess before we start wrapping up here, we're gonna go back to Mike again for the giveaway.
Ooh.
Oh man.
Can we do a drum roll?
Did I win?
You guys ready? We're going to do random number generator and pick a number from all the entries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is number 6.
Hooray, number 6. Who's number 6?
That's number 6.
And number 6 is, Dremel. Oh, David Absug.
Yes.
Yeah.
To him.
Sorry, David. We're gonna re-roll on that
Yeah.
one. David's
qualify.
David's cheating.
our one of our senior designers who used to work at Volition.
already
He
got
probably has a garage full of Volition stuff.
Yeah, that's really
Too
funny.
good. That's too good.
Oh, that's too funny. Oh, and all right, so we've got 7. Who's number 7? Number 7 is Twitch ID Night Angel 47.
That's Steven. Who's another Bradley student.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's
you
Well,
good.
he gets
He's
a,
actually the programmer that worked on Nebula.
Oh, nice.
The lead for that.
he's gonna get a consolation prize for not being an intern here.
I'm sorry.
That's
We
pretty
have a signed Saints for the Third poster
Hey.
with all the devs who worked on it.
Whoa,
That's really
so
cool. I'm
dope.
jealous.
Yeah.
We'll be mailing it out to you,
We
or
just
if
have
you're
to steal
local,
it from
stop
Steven
by.
is all we
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, now I want to steal his cat and I want to steal his poster and it all works out fine.
Take it
And,
all.
and every week we're going to be giving away different stuff. So I've actually a bunch of these Saints for the Third signed posters. So they'll probably be coming up again in the rotation, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Some DVDs, some T-shirts, all sorts of fun stuff.
All right, cool. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, you bet. I'm going to turn you back over to Josh.
All right, cool. Thanks for being on, everybody.
Yeah,
It's-
thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Good
it's.
times.
I've been so busy, I haven't really been able to see like I know that there's like interns here. It's like, oh man, I want to see them, and like I haven't been able to because I've been very busy working on other things. So yeah, it's really cool just to be able to sit down and talk to you all before you know
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
gone
it's
and
been
all
fun.
It's
that.
been fun.
But yeah, thanks for everybody who tuned in and watched the stream. Again, I'm Josh Stinson, the video editor here, and on the couch today, again, we had,
Kenzie Lindgren.
I'm Kat.
Jason.
I'm Matt.
and yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to see more of our streams, we stream every week, Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific, and if you miss out on our streams and want to watch them later, we got them on YouTube. It's youtube.com/VolitionTube, and we'll see you next week with something else.
Woo.